Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Time to update the Dokkan Fest TUR tier list. This might be the last update for a very long time. We're not super sure what the schedule is going to look like yet, but Physical Goku Black could very well be the next Dokkan Fest on JP Dokkan. And if that is the case, we're not going to have another Dokkan Fest TUR, like a new Dokkan Fest TUR on JP, until the end of July, which sounds crazy, but it's true. Upcoming, over the next several months, we get a lot of LRs. There's going to be a Part 2 LR here, a Part 2 LR next month, a Part 2 LR in May, a Part 2 LR in June, a Dokkan Fest LR in June, and a Carnival LR in July. So we're going to get a bunch of LRs upcoming. Now, I will say this. In spot numero 10, we have EGL Android 21. I don't have Physical Goku Black in this list. I mean, I would say there is an asterisk on that, though, because I have not used Physical Goku Black. He's not out on JP. But just from my impressions of what I've seen from him, this is kind of where I would rank him, which is not on this list. We'll see once I use him if things do change. Now, Android 21, I feel like I don't know, like she's solid. She's solid. Like she's a character that could kind of perform in the meta, true. And I mean, I do think things potentially are a bit easier on her. With kind of like the Majin Buus being stronger and stuff like that. But I mean, she would be even better if she had the Majin link. If she had Majin, I mean, I feel like she could have, because she's on Majin Power and stuff like that. But with Majin, I'd like her more. I think she's solid. Nothing super spectacular, but I think that she is definitely runnable. And I think, some of these Majin Buu characters, it could work. I mean, 21 can run a full Majin Buu 200% team, right? So I do have 21 right there. Next, we have Dokkan Fest God Goku. God Goku is still a capable character who could be running these fights, and he is still solid. Regardless of, people have been talking about him for a year, but just the way he's set up, right, where he has the 60% dodge with 3 key spheres, then the guaranteed guard and the guaranteed additional super with 6 key spheres, is just very good. He is stacking. He can perform well in some of these fights. I mean, I'm not dying to run double God Goku teams in these big fights, but you easily can get it done. God Goku himself can, be the star. He can, dodge some of these big supers or handle some of these big attacks. He does have that capability, that potential. God Goku does. I like him, but there's no reason to spend too much time talking about him. Obviously, he's not what he once was. Next, we have Gamma 1. Gamma 1 is starting to turn into one of the better aging characters, like, ever. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Because it's like, this guy is now closer to 2 years old than he is to, 1 year old. So, it's like, he's, we're starting to look pretty good right there. In terms of Gamma 1. He still is nice and defensively strong. He's not as good as a lot of other characters, but there are several opportunities for him to make use out of this right here. The melee nullification works impressively well. For example, against the Beast Gohan Supreme Battle Spectacle fight. So Gamma 1 in that artificial life form mission, he is, crucial towards getting that Beast Gohan mission done. And then obviously with the addition of the LR Gammas into the game, he's able to perform pretty well as well. So there's that. Okay, so now we get to the characters that are coming out this year. So we have Frieza at 7. Frieza, I do think is like, he is good. Like, if you just focus on what Frieza himself does, he's strong. He does a lot of damage. His defense can be solid. I think solid is a proper way to say it. And his active skill is like a nuclear weapon. And attack breaks on the active are really big right now. In the current meta, it's very common for a lot of these bosses, Beast, Trunks, Cell Max, to super attack instantly right away. So you can just wipe that away with the active skill. So that's something that to understand about him. But right now, Terrifying Conqueror characters, this is kind of the main crux for Frieza. For Frieza to be really good, you need this up. Terrifying Conqueror characters right now suck. They're terrible. There's very few that are worth a damn at all. It is not tough, though. Like, there's differences. Like, Kale, like, needed Universe 6. So it's a very limited number of characters they could release to really buff Kale, right? Terrifying Conquerors, though, is not a limited category. You have so many villains, right? Rildo, Baby, Saiyan Saga, Nappa and Vegeta, Frieza, Cooler, Bojack, right? Like, you just go down the line. Like, Deborah, Turles, Demon King Piccolo. Like, chances are very good. Within 2024, we'll get Terrifying Conqueror buffs. Now, are they going to come soon enough to help Frieza? I don't know. Is there going to be enough Terrifying Conqueror characters to help Frieza? I don't know. But I feel like this is a good spot for Frieza right here. Again, they, in the process of one celebration, turned Special Pose into a great team. If they wanted, they could do that easily with Terrifying Conqueror. Easily. Within the last month, they've given us 2 free-to-play characters who are like top, 40 in the game, maybe higher. Like they're in that range. It's not that tough to just make a team competitive. If they really wanted to, they could. So I think that there is a good chance Frieza could turn into a strong weapon at some point this year. All right, next is Hirudegarn, and then we'll go ahead and grab Dragon Fist as well. Now, both of these characters are, for most of the time, dodge or die. We all have seen, the shenanigans with Hirudegarn. Seems as though most people's experiences with Hirudegarn are very similar. Remember that his defensive sacking is simply nothing more than bait. That's all that is. It doesn't actually do very much for Hirudegarn in most of these fights. But Hirudegarn is a villain. There is so few good villain characters. Hirudegarn, it's just no matter what, he just finds himself on my teams over and over and over again because he fulfills such a huge need. He can, in any given run, look like the greatest unit they've ever released ever. Or he could just die. So, understand that. It's tough to rank this guy, but, I don't want to say this. I don't want to say this because it goes against what I say all the time. Hirudegarn has a lot of potential. All right, Dragon Fist. Dragon Fist is similar in that against a lot of the bigger bosses, he is just going to be dodge or die like Hirudegarn. But Dragon Fist, of course, does have his easy standby, and then he's got the scouter and the counter. He's really effective. He's even better now too because we can pair him along with what's his name? The Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku who just came out. I actually really like this Dragon Fist character. To me, he just feels very consistent, very strong. I don't know. It's like he does rely on dodge similarly to Hirudegarn, but it doesn't feel the same, if that makes sense. I think people who use him a lot know exactly what I'm talking about. Next is Toppo. Toppo is very good. I don't know if we need to spend a lot of time talking about him. I did basically a month of Toppo content because every character that came out was on Special Pose. Toppo is just super good. The way people talk about Toppo versus how good Toppo is, I would say he's actually one of the more underrated characters in the game. People will throw out the Gammas, but everyone has the Gammas top 5. How the F are they underrated when everyone just sucks their balls every second? Never made sense. Toppo is a character that people try their hardest to downplay, but it just looks silly. Across all of these bosses, Toppo himself is good. I have found a lot of issues myself with friend units, because you got to change how you play a little bit. When you first transform into God Toppo, he is God, right? With this, he's guarding with 80% damage reduction. Every time he gets hit, he does lose damage reduction. So we've never had a character that's relied more on a dodge build to be consistently good than Toppo. Toppo needs a dodge build more than basically any character ever, I think. Which makes it very frustrating using him as a leader because, people don't... Whatever. Anyway. But yeah, Toppo has a lot of great stuff, right? Permanent crits have to use the active skill for the rest of the fight. He's got Ki Blast nullifications. He's Rainbow Orb changing. He guards. He supports in base. He really is just if this was like a Vegeta, like people will be talking about him like he's number 2 unit in the game or something. I promise you. If this was just Vegeta instead, like if this was Majin Vegeta, and then he just had like a standby rather than the transformation and the God Toppo or something like that, people will talk about this guy like he's a top 5 character. I promise you, he would. It is a fact. It would happen. People will talk about this guy like he's top 5. So there's Toppo. Speaking of Vegeta, I do like Vegeta right here. I feel like there's a lot of instances where Toppo can look better than Vegeta, but I feel like Toppo has a little bit more, slot 1, he gets like the guaranteed guard and, you need like he's supporting special pose and stuff like that. Vegeta is kind of just what he is everywhere on every team. He does have this down there, but it's not a big deal because like what makes Vegeta good is like it's mostly like these lines, like all this. This is what makes Vegeta like really good, right? Well, I guess we could hit the top line too, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like it's like he does have that tiny restriction, but that's got nothing to do with him being good. This is gonna be a consistent, great character for a long time to come. As a matter of fact, and then once you transfer, he's a defensive juggernaut. He's an offensive juggernaut. He's got good links. He's a Saiyan. He's also a villain. I don't have much to say besides good things about this guy. He's great. I was very close to having Vegeta at 2. And I'm right now in my mind, I'm really like... I'm going to leave Fappu at 2. But in my mind, I'm close to putting Vegeta at 2. Fappu is really good. I think Fappu is a character that would benefit greatly from significant help on his team. We know that Exchange Majin Buu is coming soon, which is good. And that will definitely help Fappu out a lot. Fappu, he just has a good toolkit. Like, if you look at the stuff he's doing, all of his healing, he does have a revive. He himself has to die to get it. He's guarding. He could survive KO mechanics, after he, revives. He has another, like, KO survive. He has probably the best active in the game. With the active skill, Ghost Usher. And if you've taken any damage at all, you'll be able to basically full heal between him changing the full field of, of orbs and cookies and then recovering HP with sweet treats. But it's just, I don't know. It doesn't, like, I was thinking that, like, Majin Power is going to be, like, the most fun team in the game and stuff like that to me. And I've just found using Buu and his team to be frustrating. That's why, like, I can't quite explain it well. But I've just had a lot of frustrations with Buu. I think it would probably be solved if, like, Easy Tech Exchange Buu is as good as I think he'll be. And then, Part 2 LR Kid Buu, Sub Easy A, AGL Buu Piccolo, and then boom. Like, we're gaming. Fat Buu is really good, though. I feel like Fat Buu could very, very easily have a nice aging process with the shenanigans you could do with him reviving and ghost ushering and, stacking and all the different things he does. He has a nice toolkit. He's very good. Fat Buu, I think, is really, really good. But number 1 is just obvious. I will say this. I am a little shocked that Goku is not just considered unanimous number 1. He's not. I'm actually very surprised he's not. Because there's no argument that exists unless you're strictly looking into the future. That's the only thing you could say as to why any TUR is better than him. It's not just a Fat Buu thing. Any TUR. The only way you could really say that is if we're talking future stuff. Goku does have this, which I despise. The Buu Saga category ally in the rotation. And it's crucial you have this in order for him to remain really good in the fight, right? Because the damage reduction right away, but I like this Goku, like you can't, none of these other TURs can do what Goku does, which is he can go against here. I did tweet the clips out, so I could pull the clips up in 2 seconds. All right, so here we go. So this is the difference with Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? Here, let's mute myself. Like, this is turn 1 Cell Max. This is basically a 3 million super, double digits. And then here, let's look at Gogeta. This is turn 7. This is a turn 7, like 3.7 million super or something like that. So here he is on turn 7 eating this. Okay. And then we eat it for 220. Okay, that's turn 7. You can see down there. And then here we are against Sword of Hope Trunks. What turn is this? Let's see. Here, we'll look at the damage, and then we'll see what it's looking like. 18k on turn 5. So it's like none of these other characters can do that. I mean, I guess like you could have a character dodge Cell Max's super, and then like Dragon Fist could Dragon Fist the something, or like Toppo could dodge Cell Max's super, and then as God Toppo he could double digit tank it. But like Goku is just like consistently great. It's like in order to downplay this guy, you have to make shit up. You have to say, oh, well, if you are on turn 8 against Gogeta and you don't have the active skill, and then this, and then that, and then this, like that's the shit you have to do. Like if you just use this guy and like you're not like intentionally trying to sabotage him, like he just completely dominates all fights. And he's basically guaranteed critting. Like he's a ridiculous damage dealer as well. Like there's no I'm so serious. I don't understand any argument of him not being one. I don't get it. And you guys know, what am I always talking about? The most important thing, the page crashed. So I'm going to get to my new PC soon. It's stuff I've told the story, but I got a PC. Yeah, the page completely crashed on me. I guess I'll wait. This is my PC issue, right? I've got the new one, but like setting it up is like a real nightmare. Like I'm not really looking forward to it, right? I mean, we'll get to it soon. All right, let the page read. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So yeah, I just don't get it. I don't really understand any arguments for putting anyone above this guy, because like Fat Boo is really good. Like people just they're going crazy for his potential. He can on turn 11 have 50 billion defense. He can do this, but like oftentimes I've found it difficult to set a lot of those moments up, right? And it's like Fat Boo defensively after reviving is very good. Usually in slot 2 is the thing though. It's like these bosses usually super right away in this 9th anniversary meta. So Fat Boo himself is not usually going to be sitting in slot 1 because of that. And then it's like, if you use his active skill where he would get his defensive buff, this right here, right away, he just ghost touches it anyway. So it's like he has all this defense, especially after you revive. And it's like not something you could super take advantage of a lot. It's like, people get a little sensitive once you start talking about the slot 1 topic, but I mean, Goku is like a dominant slot 1 in all these fights in almost every situation, and Fat Boo is not, right? So it's kind of the big thing where I'm at. And again, it's not just a Fat Boo issue. I mean, I think Fat Boo is 2. Like I am comfortable putting Fat Boo at 2, Vegeta at 3, although I am close on those. But like Goku just feels leagues above all these other ones. I don't have him in his own tier though. I think that to me this looks good. This I feel like is a good display of about how effective each TUR is. I've seen people do lists and they have like Toppo like a tier down, 2 tiers down. Like no way, Jose. I definitely think these last 4 DOKKANFEST TURs have been elite with a capital E. Let's take a look at what the last list I did was. No changes besides Physical Goku Black and 17 and 18 fell off. That's the only change. Yeah. I was considering maybe having 17 and 18 at slot 10 instead of 21, but I was like, nah, 20. I'll take 21 over 17 and 18. So let me know what you guys think. Top 10 TURs. Again, I feel very good about this. And again, I mean, I don't mean to, you know, I want to word this correctly, but I am surprised, very surprised actually. I'm stunned. I'm shocked that Super Saiyan 3 Goku's not unanimous number one. Like, it's like people still, no matter what, go a little too crazy for the character's potential rather than what they actually just freaking do. Which, I mean, if you talk about what they actually do, Goku dominates the game start to finish. Like, the only character who, like, whatever. Yeah, Goku just completely dominates, man. It's just that simple.